rise up so early in the morn. Can't you hear the captain shout? It's time to blow your horn.
The Royal Mountains Railroad and the Northern Central Transportation Corporation had merged to form the Royal Central Railroad. Soon the old colors of the fallen flag lines were replaced by new schemes, with the big RC logo painted on the sides of all rolling stock. The employees and engines of both railroads took time to warm up to each other, but there was still lots of lingering feelings of competition between them. As a result, there were often disputes and conflicts between office workers. The trains began to feel the effect of these clashes. Passenger and freight train schedules had been altered to flow better along the new main and branch lines, but mistakes were often made in routing and engine assignments. Where is that helper engine? We've been sitting here for over an hour. Probably held up down the line. Lots of trains being held up lately. John, we're pulling thousands of tons and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fruit and vegetables. Not long ago, we were one of the fastest freight trains on the East Coast. If we wait here much longer, it'll all spoil. Are you John and Arnold? What took you so long? Sorry, I had to come all the way from Huntington. Huntington? But that's 30 miles from here. I was the only engine available. That's ridiculous. We saw 3 engines in the shops at Altoona when we came through. They could have been here in 5 minutes. Probably another mix-up. Not your fault. What did you say your name was? Oh, I didn't. It's Gregory. Thanks for coming to help, Gregory. Say, what kind of engine are you? I'm a GP9. What? You're half our size, and there's only one of you? Like I said, only engine available. Only engine available, yeah, sure. I believe that when I seen he's only a yard switch over a mainline engine that's been stuck out here for an hour and they send us. Don't worry about Arnold here. He's not angry with you. Well, there isn't time to call for anyone else. Goodness knows where they'll call an engine from next. Just couple up and let's get this train moving. Right. Unfortunately, Gregory, for all his effort, was little help. The train finally reached the top, but it took a long time, and they needed to be put in a siding to allow another train which had been delayed to pass. John and Arnold weren't angry with Gregory, but they were angry with the dispatcher. What's worse is that this was not an isolated incident. All across the Royal Central Network, trains were delayed due to office error or not enough engines being available. Some trains were even lost on the way. Coming through. Hey! Is this Pittsburgh Yard? Pittsburgh? This is Harrisburg. Pittsburgh's 200 miles from here. Oh well. Dispatch sent us here, they'll figure it out. Come on guys, let's hit the fuel pump. As time went on, these difficulties made things worse and worse. No one could agree on the right way to do things. Employees frequently argued, and some even quit their jobs. The confusion led to trains being kept at the wrong terminals for days. Fruit and vegetables, like Arnold and John had been carrying, rotted in boxcars. Engines went to the wrong terminals, leading to shortages of power on trains. One day, Oscar and George arrived at the destination a full day and a half late, thanks to an unintended detour. This, of course, made their passengers cross. This mistake, among so many others, attracted the attention of the United States government, and they stepped in to take action. What do you mean they're taking them away from us? Just like I said, all the railroads in the country will hand off their passenger services to this new government corporation. We won't be handling them anymore. That's ludicrous. Railroads have been the only way to travel across this country for decades. Over 100 years. What will people do without us? People will still travel by train, just it's not going to be our company that will be taking them, or the other freight railroads for that matter. The government is doing this to try to save us money. Mark my words, this is the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end of what? If we're not careful, the end of railroading as we know it. I'm sorry to say that Jesse wasn't wrong. Without their own passenger trains, revenue continued to plummet. and with the government company running these trains across multiple other companies' tracks, it didn't make schedules any easier to follow. Freight traffic continued to suffer from previous mistakes, and late in the year, a hurricane damaged many parts of the system. It was an absolute mess. The Royal Central Railroad had been formed to save 2 other companies from bankruptcy, but in only 2 years, Royal Central itself was out of money, leaving all of its workers and engines to wonder what would happen next.